Well, it's good to be back here again this morning to begin the week with you. I hope you had yourself a wonderful weekend. We hope to have a very exciting week this week, doing the work we have to do for you. Good morning to all of you. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to the OK Morning Rush. Today is the inauguration of America's President-elect Donald Trump, the 47th President of the United States of America. For the first time in many years, the inaugural ceremony is going to be held indoors. History tells us that the last time it happened was in 1985, during the second term induction of President Ronald Reagan. Well, it's okay. World leaders will be there. The American President Trump will take office today. I'm told sometime this morning President Joe Biden will be around the Oval Office for the last time, setting the pace for the traditional turning over, the way it is usually done. He'll be moving out, and the new first family and the president-elect will be moving in, probably before the ceremony. Congratulations to the American people. Democracy has worked. Yes, they went to the ballot boxes, they went to the pool and elected a new president. Kamala Harris would have made history as she got elected. She would have been the first female president of America. But it's okay. Good morning to all of you. Thanks for joining us. It's always a pleasure. Today is Monday, 20th of January, the month of our birth. It's gradually winding down. Coming up shortly, we'll take our break and And right after the break, we'll talk about some of the things that matter. Remember last week, I was talking about the Enfield situation when we had a technical problem and went off. We'll continue on today, and we'll talk about a lot of other issues and make few calls to get something straight, and then we can move on.
Make it crazy.
Toyo, Toyo, my Toyota Prado. Toyo, Toyo, my Toyota Prado. Nigga, more in the morning, more in the same. Bring me back safely. Nigga, more in the morning, more in the same. Bring me back quickly. Toyo, Toyo, my Toyota Prado. Toyo, Toyo, my Toyota Prado. Nigga, more in the morning, more in the same. Bring me back safely. Nigga, more in the morning, more in the same. Bring me back quickly.
For on-road off-road, Toyota bring like Chris up Prado. I can run in the mud and sand, Toyota bring like Chris up Prado. For on-road off-road, Toyota bring like Chris up Prado. I can run in the mud and sand, Toyota bring like Chris up Prado. That's why you can connect it one for yourself or your company car in the Prado. You get too much energy, electrical power, steering control, the car got Prado, you can't lose. Toyota bring new generation of cars and like Chris up Prado, that one of the stars. You got motor selling Toyota cars, so if you want Prado, you just need to ask. Yeah, for on-road off-road, Toyota bring like Chris up Prado. I can run in the mud and sand, Toyota bring like Chris up Prado. Toyota has brought a brand new Land Cruiser that is called Prado. And the Prado has a very beautiful design, and it has a high power engine that can run in mud in heavy sand. And Siga Moto is the sole distributor of the latest Land Cruiser Prado. Siga Moto get the best garage in Iberia that can service, repair, and sell brand new parts. The thing that you can call spare part. Siga Moto una partner can come directly from the Toyota company in Japan. And Siga Moto is located on Piso Island in Seyon Town community, right around Lockington West too.
Banking Institute of Liberia, the training arm of the Liberia's Bankers Association and the Central Bank of Liberia, announces the commencement of its professional training program in the following categories. Professional development training. This targets graduate and seniors and degree holders. Courses we offered include microfinance, banking and finance, public accounting and finance, audit and internal controls, procurement and supply chain management, monitoring and evaluation, compliance and corporate risk management, work planning and report writing, office administration and organization management, customer service and human resource management, project planning and management, and computerized accounting, which includes QuickBooks, Excels, and Tally. Duration for this program is 3 months. Tuition is just US $275. The second program covers business development training. The Banking Institute of Liberia also offers training for high school graduates and college students in small business development and management and microfinance management. Duration for this program is just 2 months. Tuition stands at $205. All of our fees are payable in 3 installments. Training program at the Banking Institute of Liberia are facilitated by bank executives and financial experts. BRL is committed to providing professional training to all of its clients at international standards. For more information, visit the Institute's office on Warren and Kerry Street's intersection in the old microfinance building of the Central Bank of Liberia. Banking Institute of Liberia, the Center of Excellence in Banking and Financial Management Training.
service, internet service, fast reliable service. For your home and your office, unlimited service with the best coverage. You got to choose. Connect, connect, connect. Choose connect, connect, connect. Choose connect. Connect, connect, connect. Choose connect.
Attention, attention, attention to all lovers of the good things in life. A house is not a home, and a home is the one place where you should feel relaxed and accomplished. Your home should reflect who you are. So, it's time to make that upgrade with minimal damage to your pockets. And I have the perfect solution for you. Home Sweet Home, located on Benson Street, between Center and Buchanan Streets, got you covered. From the kitchen, we have air fryers, juice makers, pressure cookers, freezers of all sizes, and all the modern kitchenwares you can think about. From the bedroom, we have top of the line, exquisite beddings to give you that great night's sleep because you have earned it. And soft, comfortable towels for your bathroom. And in the living room, we have high-definition TV sets of all sizes, unique aerial rugs, classy curtains in all the colors you desire, wall paintings of different sizes and colors, furniture, and everything you can think about for the home. All that at unbelievable prices. We even have low voltage, high quality washing machines and dryers to keep your clothes fresh and new at all times. As a bonus, we have fashion accessories for both the young and the old, designer quality bags, hats, and rare jewelries. So if you love yourself, your family, and your home, it's time to treat it right. Visit Home Sweet Home on Benson Street between Center and Buchanan Streets for that needed upgrade. You can call them on 0886 834 944 or 0770 581 420. Home Sweet Home, for the love of a classy home.
Looking good is business, so why not switch up your wardrobe at Jolomel Clothing on Lynch and Kerry Streets intersection. Jolomel Fashion House, the first of its kind ever, specialize in the newest and modern designs of proper suits for gents and ladies, wedding dresses of different designs and style, evening dresses for any event. At Jolomel Clothing, your style is in your hands. Check our casual men's sportswear tailored to suit your fashion sense. Matching suits for that new and lovely couple. African suits for any traditional wedding. We have fashion photo kits as well. Dress slipper for men for any proposed suit. Jolomel Clothing, the fashion house that is full of style and a sense of glamour. Jolomel Clothing. Call 0777-644-644 or 0886-556-865 for any information. Jolomel Clothing, we make you a celebrity.
Hey, here comes the news you've been waiting for. The official launch of Okada Motor Library Incorporated. Date the 21st of January at 11 a.m. Chief launcher is the Vice President of Liberia, Honorable Jeremiah Pan-Kun. And special guests to grace the occasion include Speaker, Honorable Richard Nangwe-Kun, the Minister of Transport, Minister of Youth and Sports, Minister of Justice, Police Inspector General Gregory Coleman, Mayors of Monrovia and Painesville, the Motorcycle Union. Dignitaries also to grace this occasion are from the US, Singapore, the Philippines, UAE and Ghana. With our Okada Motor Hub, will make the ride easy and comfortable, while also providing them road safety, training, free safety helmet and uniforms. With Okada Motor, safe and protected. Ride with us and thank me later. It's all happening on the 21st of January at the Monrovia City Hall. That's the grand launch of the Okada Moto Hub. Don't be told, be there.
You still waiting for LEC token you purchased since last week? Wait no more. Dial *156*44# and enter your meter number to get your token instantly. Enjoy ease and convenience with MTN Mobile Money.
MTN.
Welcome to the OK Morning Rush right here on 99.5. Our plate is filled, a lot of things to talk about. I hope we have the time to talk about all of the things we want to talk about. We have a lot of things. The fact check we have to come up, and a lot of things to talk about. But it's good to always be here in the morning. We like to say welcome to the morning rush. So like I said, a lot of people getting it messed up. Today is not the President Buakai's State of the Nation's address. No, it's not going to be today. Yeah? Today is the inauguration of U.S. 47th President, like I said, Donald Trump. Hating or you like him, you know. One thing that I've noticed about President-elect Trump is that he is somebody who, you know, somebody with incredible confidence in his intuitions. You know, he goes for it. You know, he's the kind of guy who most of the time will not take no for an answer. You know, and sometimes I say to people, you know, including me, sometimes I have problem with some of the way he says some of the things. But I think Donald Trump knows exactly what the Irish, the typical American person likes to hear, and these are the things he'll go for. He will not miss his voice on certain things, you know. But people can say, I'm Wagga, you know. He say he does it. You know, he says certain things, he will do it. He mean it. I'm Wagga. He says certain things, he will do it. He mean it, he will do it. He say it, he will do it. That's the kind of guy, you know. And a lot of people go for these kinds of people. And now people parading, you know, scheming and that kind of thing. Look, before the burial of the late Senator Prince Johnson, Lord, may his soul rest in peace, man. He died. He's been buried now. We have to focus on something else. I want to see what I can lay my hands on the national budget. Like I said, I will take a whole week, call different budget experts here, different people here to look at the budget from different lenses and see what the issues are. And we talk about some of the issues, you know. But I told you the other time, I said, during the burial of the late Senator Johnson, a lot of things will have happened. So some of the tributes that were paid over there, for me as a president, I'm not surprised. I expected those. I said it because I know the late senator was a controversial president. And so different presidents saw him differently. Different presidents perceived him differently. There were different thoughts. There were people who didn't see anything wrong with Senator Johnson. He was a masterpiece in their eyes. Well, others, he was a bad man, he was this, he was that. So I didn't, you know, I expected all the tributes and all the kind of things that, in fact, I expected more controversies than some of the things that happened over there. You know, my surprise is that I expected more, very serious, more controversies. I knew all the things that happened, what would have happened. I knew there would have been different people there who would have liked, you know, to seize the moment, to talk different things, to make their presence felt. Some of them to talk politically tough. Some of them thought that was the forum because a lot of people were there. I would make my case. Some of them said, you know, I've been keeping in the team I have for long. I will vent it out, let them hear it. Some people decide, you know, so I expected all these things. I'm not going to waste my time for us to really talk about burial ceremony and some of the speeches that were made there. For me, there are more pressing national issues now we should be talking about. Let's look at the budget. Let's pray we have a copy of the budget because the budget is the national cake. And the reason why I want to focus more, I want to bring people to focus more on the budget is because the government has just launched its development plan for the country from now to 2029 or 2030 there, but whatever. The government has just launched its development plan. And there are strategic things the government said it will focus on. For example, I heard Kula Fofana talking about maternal and newborn, and maternal mortality, and looking at things like that. So if the government is focusing on these areas, let's see what allocations in the budget will be going to particular area. Because if the government says in its development plan that it will tackle this, it will seek to address this, we will see the seriousness from the budget. Because when you place health on the spotlight and say the government intends to take health to this level about 2029, we're talking about 4 years from now. So we'll start seeing the seriousness. What percentage of the national budget you will allot to health, and what strategic intervention in that sector you want to happen onto that. So the national budget for me should be the biggest discussion in town. Since I do not have it in my hands yet, I will seek not to talk more about it until I can have the national budget in my hand. I'm not going to be talking about it because I may not be that kind of expert to talk about budget issues. So we'll find the experts to come here. People who look at the budget and, look at it from there. People who will just go through the budget and know exactly what the issues are. Then we align it with the government development plan, and let's see the honesty, the sincerity. Let's see the determination, if that is the real word. Like I said, if the government is saying in our development plan from now to 2029, this is what we want to do in agriculture, meaning this budget year we must have something serious for agriculture to be the beginning of tackling it. And one other question I'm asking myself, but I need to go through the entire, the government development plan. Who's going to fund it? All the different things there, in terms of percentage. Are we depending on domestic revenue mobilization to fund the development plan, or to some extent we depend on donor funding significantly to fund the development plan? In the coming days, for me, these are the things we should be focusing on. Now, let's begin our discussion. Let's go to the judiciary. And then we'll come back here. We talk about the Enfield situation, and then I will tell you how we'll conclude. But last week, His Excellency Julius Maada Bio of Sierra Leone, or the government of Sierra Leone, had to recall Sierra Leone ambassador to the Republic of Guinea because 7 suitcases containing suspected cocaine were found in an embassy vehicle. Guinean authorities impounded the vehicle and detained its occupants on suspicion of possessing the substances. The ambassador, we are told, was not in the car, was not in any of the vehicles. They saw a catch of a little over 2,000 United States dollars. So the government of Sierra Leone had to swiftly take some real diplomatic actions, recall the man immediately, because he didn't have to be in the car, that it was an embassy vehicle, and that he's the ambassador of Sierra Leone to that country. It claimed a lot of attention, and they have done the needful. So let's move to the judiciary. It seems all is not well at the judiciary, and multiple sources continue to confide in me that the magistrates are planning a protest. Madam Chief Justice, if you didn't know, I think I need to bring this to your attention. Magistrates, I am told, are planning a protest, and other people. Why? Because you remember during the Weah regime, the harmonization affected the judiciary to some extent. And the Chief Justice and some of the justices thought, as per law, they are not supposed to slash the salaries of these judges and all these things. So I think they went to court and they've been doing some background diplomacy. What I am being made to understand, and probably maybe after the show today, I'll have to reach out to Ambrose. I know sometimes I send him messages and he takes a lot of time to respond, but it's okay. Because sometimes he didn't see it on time, or sometimes he's in places no network. That's why he usually says to me. But I'm being told by my sources that as a result of the harmonization, there were issues. The judges thought the judiciary, the salary of judges, are not supposed to be slashed, and their reliance is, there are a lot of legal issues. So I am told when this government took over, they've been having some background negotiations, and my sources are informing me that the Boakai government retroactively pay 1 year of the salary. So I think it was a period of over 6 years that the past government, no, it can't be 6, because when we had took over, I think it was in 2018 or 2019 that it started that. So a little over 3-4 years, they complained. And so when the government took over, the government decided to begin to address some of the issues. I am sure at that stage that the Chief Justice may have made a very strong representation to this government to say, look, what happened in the past with cry, no way, you got to help us to put it back. So my sources are telling me that retroactively, the Boakai government paid 1 year to the judges, the judges. Now, the magistrates believe they should have also been paid because all of them were affected by the harmonization. But instead, certain people got their money and the magistrates did not get. And I'm told they engaged the Chief Justice, and she says the executive were using Article what? I will get there. One of the provisions in the Constitution as a reliance. And probably this is not going down well with some of the magistrates. And so I got a strange shot from some of their conversations. I think the head of the National Association of Trial Judges, and they've been in their own chat room, back to back, having a conversation. But what I'm getting from my sources is that the magistrates are planning to do the unusual, to also claim government's attention. They will abandon all of the courts. That's what they're planning to do. They are saying if this is what will claim the government attention, they will do it. Well, I got this. The National Association of Trial Judges of Liberia filed a lawsuit against the then government. The matter has been in court before this government came to power. The current government was about to negotiate with the judiciary and pay arrears of the justices, judges, and magistrates. After the money was paid by the current government, they distributed the money. They, in this case, my sources are telling me, the justices and the judges, they distributed the money among themselves, justices and judges, thus leaving out the magistrates. So we, the magistrates, want no, I'm not disclosing the other portion. So let's come down here. This is something they place in our child room. May it please your honors. I think the head of somebody were addressing all of the magistrates. May it please your honors. The president, Her Honor Nancy Findasamin, has instructed that I provide you the following information as was provided to her by the Chief Justice through a telephone conversation during the evening hours of yesterday. Judge Samin was informed by the Chief Justice to relay to the members of the National Association of Trial Judges of Liberia that judges are being paid their pre-harmonized salaries retroactively for last year, January to December 2024. Some judges have received allies from their banks, while others have not. Judge Samin said that when she inquired about magistrates, the Chief Justice replied that the GOL took into consideration Article 72 of the 1986 Constitution, which talks about judges. However, the Chief Justice assured her that magistrates will be captured in the 2025 budget. In this budget, 2025 budget, that the budget is just passed. I don't know whether the magistrates were captured. Now let's go to Article 72, because according to the conversation, the Chief Justice is telling Judge Sami that the executive is using as Article 72 as a reliant for only paying judges and justices and leaving out the magistrate. What is in Article 72? Article 72A, the justices of the Supreme Court and all other judges shall receive such salaries, allowances, and benefits as shall be established by law. Such salaries shall be subject to taxes as defined by law, provided that they shall not otherwise be diminished. Allowances and benefits paid to justices of the Supreme Court and judges of subordinate courts may by law be increased but may not be diminished except honor a national program enacted by the legislature, nor shall such allowances and benefits be subject to taxation. Now, I think the reliance in Article 72 is the judges of the Supreme Court and all other judges. Now, when the Constitution says all other judges, is it only referring to judges? Because I am not a lawyer, but when the Constitution says, the judges of the Supreme Court and all other judges are magistrates, not judges. Because magistrates hear cases and they render judgments in keeping with the law. So, even though the Constitution did not say judges of the Supreme Court, trial judges, and magistrates, but can anybody argue that magistrates are not judges? If magistrates are not judges, understandable. If magistrates are judges, are they supposed to benefit from the retroactive 1 year payment? I think this is where the issue is. And like I am saying, the magistrates are planning to do the unusual. Let's move on to Enfield. Let's move on to Enfield. Okay. Sorry, I'm communicating with somebody. I want to read something, but I want the person to confirm whether he's the one who wrote it. Normally, that's what I would do. Let me see. Yeah, let me see. I want the person to confirm this thing. Yeah, so if the magistrates are also judges, then we need to have a conversation about it. So let's move on to Enfield, where last week I started my conversation, but because we went off for technical reason, we did not continue. So there is an issue. There's an ongoing issue at the National Public Health Institute of Liberia. They had a press conference, and I think you can see the press statement on the screen. I know you can see it. Let me go there because our IT man is doing his best outside there. The first. Let me see what I can. Can you see? Can we display the press release? Enfield had a press release. They issued a press statement dismissing some of the employees, suspending some, and recommending that the president take some action against Dr. Adams Lincoln. At some point, I read a communication. Another communication I read from Dr. Adams Lincoln to GSA. He was trying to ask GSA to investigate because some kind of folk car left the compound. He could not understand what the issues were. But in the press statement, the Enfield issue, one of the reasons why they said that the president should take action against Dr. Lincoln was the fact that he forged a GSA document. And I will also read you GSA's response to that communication. But when Dr. Lincoln wrote GSA to get involved and investigate, that particular day, Dr. Lincoln wrote GSA. Dr. Dugba also wrote GSA, similar communication. And then GSA also responded to one of the communications. They were written by Dr. Dugba. I think they wanted to find out something. This one, I will read it one because I didn't read it that day. Director General, General Services Agency, blah, blah, blah. I bring you warm greetings from the National Public Health Institute of Liberia, and would like to bring to your attention the attached documents of vehicle disposal allegedly bearing your signature and purportedly emanating from the General Services Agency of the Republic of Liberia. In recent times, during the process of the Enfield assets recovery, our institution has been investigating the unauthorized removal of vehicles and alleged sales of said vehicles and other government assets by some staff of the MPhil in conjunction with a GSA staff, Mr. Franklin Filiku. During our investigation, multiple tests implicated Mr. Franklin Foloku in facilitating the unauthorized removal of the vehicles from the MPhil, the preparation of the attached documents, and the sales of the vehicle. Against this background of the foregoing, the MPhil would like to ascertain the viability of the attached documents and cordially request your assistance in our investigation of the theft of government properties. Dugbe Nya. So Dr. Dugbe Chris Nya wrote a communication because there were communications that he saw apparently that seemed it came from GSA. GSA responded. January 14, 2025, Dr. Dugbe Chris Nya, Director General, blah, 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 blah. Subject, response to communication regarding unlawful removal and disposal of assets. Dear Dr. Nya, we acknowledge receipt of your communication dated January 13, 2025 regarding the unlawful removal and disposal of assets, particularly vehicles, allegedly under the General Services Agency. Following a review of the matter, we wish to inform you that the documents presented in this instance have been verified as falsified and do not reflect legitimate GSA transactions. Furthermore, the removal of the assets in question was not conducted in accordance with GSA's established disposal methods and the laws governing such actions. To address the matter, the GSA has initiated an internal investigation to ascertain the circumstances surrounding this fraudulent activity. Administrative actions will be taken against any individuals found culpable. Additionally, the GSA will collaborate with law enforcement authorities to investigate this issue comprehensively and ensure that those responsible for these acts are held accountable under the law. We assure you that the GSA is committed to maintaining transparency, accountability, and the integrity of its operations. Updates regarding the and outcomes of these investigations will be shared as appropriate. Thank you for bringing this matter. So Dr. Nyan wrote GSA. And according to GSA said, with their internal investigation, my friend, all we can tell you is the document you sent us, purportedly coming from us, is not true. It was falsified. Somebody lied on us. All that I can say is in the MPhil press statement we are hearing that the police were involved in the investigation. Others from MPhil are also telling us that no, to some extent, it was a particular police officer assigned at MPhil who was involved in the investigation, but not that somebody went to the police headquarters. I am told by sources from GSA that a particular Franklin Filiku guy has been handed over to the police for further investigation. I don't know what GSA internal investigation established. Things are not found at MPhil. That's all I can say. Because there are too many documents. Sources are sending me from Dr. Lincoln, from Dr. Dugbe Chris Nya, with a lot of government vehicles and all these pictures. Things are not found. I read the other communication last week where Dr. Lincoln is calling for the intervention of the board of MPhil. I don't know whether the board has made any intervention. I need to find out from my sources. But all is not well. You heard the communication I read when Dr. Lincoln said everything between he and Dr. Dugbe Chris Nya started getting okay. They were okay until when Dr. Dugbe Chris Nya said he was disrespected by the health minister and that he, Dr. Nya, would not have cooperated with her. And Dr. Lincoln in our communication said he told Dr. Nya and said, no, the woman is a sector lead. We got to work with her. It seems there is something happening between Dr. Dugbe Chris Nya and the Minister of Health on one hand, and then the whole MPhil situation. I have launched an investigation working with different sources to uncover what the real issues are. If the board makes an intervention, I will also let you know. So that is how far, that is what I can say about the MPhil situation. Now, Councillor Jonathan Mansakwe, the former executive director of the World Economic Crimes Court, is believed to have written something on Facebook You know, he's a lead lawyer for the suspect in the Capitol building arson case. He's a lead lawyer for that guy. So I saw something on Facebook and some people sent it to me. They say it was Jonathan, Councilor Massaquoi, who wrote it. I decided not to read it until I can clarify from him. Yeah, you know. I think coincidentally, the Minister of Health is the chair of the board. Is the chair of the board of Enfield. I don't know whether I'm correct, but I think yes. I think the Minister of Health is the chair of the board of Enfield. So if she and Dr. Dugbe Chris now are having some kind of beef or they are having some issues, and Dr. Lincoln is letting the board to intervene, I don't know how it's going to work when the very minister for whom or because of whom Dr. Lincoln said things are going bad is the chair of the board. But let's leave it. My sources will inform me about the issue. So Councilor Massaquoi has confirmed. He said, yes, Clarence, I'm the one who wrote it. I'm the author. At that point, I can now read it. That's what I will do. When I see something on Facebook, I don't just go about talking about it until I can confirm from the person whether he or she, of course, in some cases, I will read it at some level when it gets to a certain stage before consulting the person. But most of the time, I like to consult first before I read it. So if my IT man will see this, he will put it on the screen. This is what Councilor Massaquoi wrote on Facebook, and I'm just about to read it. It is about a case. It seems he's not happy. He said here, the process is no longer a general criminal investigation into the allegation of arson, but SIM has begun to focus on a particular individual. The individual has been taken into police custody, but clearly state security apparatus, NSA in quotation, has taken seize of the matter and wantonly carried out a process that lends itself to eliciting incriminating statements. The individual has requested and been denied an opportunity to consult with his lawyer, and the said state security agency have not effectively warned him of his absolute constitutional right to remain silent. More than this, the accused has been denied the assistance of a lawyer of his choice at every stage of the investigation, in gross violation of his fundamental human rights as made obligatory under the state by the organic law of the land. And as such, no statement elicited by the state security apparatus, especially so the NSA doing its so-called interrogation, may be used against him at a criminal trial. Just so you know, Councilor Massaquoi said he wrote this. I am still consulting. I have a series of recordings, but I am still consulting. I will make a determination in the coming days or weeks as to whether we can play for the benefit of the public or the outcome of our consultation will tell us exactly what to do. But we have some very sensitive things in our possession. We are watching the process. Let's see how it goes. So Councilor Massaquoi has said, yes, I'm the one who wrote this. Clarence, you can do it. You can let it out. He says, the people are not giving the man his rights provided for by law, acquainting him with his rights, and providing him the opportunity to have a lawyer of his choice. So he's informing the state. He's warning the NSA and other people that all that statements you people extracting from that man, it can't go to court because probably the statements were not taken in the presence of his lawyers. You are interrogating him without a lawyer and all this kind. The thing about NSA too, people can see NSA that ghosts people. So no way for me to say, I take my phone like I can do with the police and other people to call the NSA people. No way to call the NSA. Yeah, I know Prince Johnson, but you call that man now, you're not even pick up your call because they say NSA people are supposed to be ghosts, so we're not supposed to know them. So it can make it very difficult for us to go into these kinds of matters because the NSA people say they are ghost people, not supposed to see them. Okay, let me leave my studio to go to talk to Richard Molumba. Richard Molumba is the spokesperson of the Ministry of Mines and Energy. I am told that the Ministry of Mines and Energy is currently doing an underground mines inspection at B Mountain in Grand Kitmon County. What do they want to know? For how long are they there? What will it benefit Liberia? Let me talk to him, then we can come back here and open the telephone lines. At 8:15, the guy from Okada Motor will be here. Okada Motor will be officially launched in Liberia tomorrow using an app where I'm told you can just remain to your house or anywhere you are. Just take advantage of the app and you can pull in for a motorcycle online. The motorcycle will come at your doorsteps and take you where you want to go. Okada Motor will be launched tomorrow. The guys will be here 8:15 to talk about it. It will take us up to 9 o'clock when Dr. Atomos Gay, who brought some Americans the other time, will be here to talk to us about the post-study activities. Richard, good morning.
Good morning, Clarence, and good morning to every Liberian tuning to your show.
Good morning, Richard. Are you in Grand Kitma yourself?
Yes, I'm speaking to you from Kinjo, Gola Connect District.
Okay. Now, let's talk about the Ministry of Mines and Energy. Why you say they're doing underground inspection? How?
Yes, Clarence. So, B Mountain Mining Company is a Class A coal mining company in Liberia on an industrial scale. So, they are operating 5 underground mines here in Grand Kitma County, in Gola Connect District. So, as per the mandate of the ministry to ensure proper regulation of the mining or the mineral sector, we do these routine checks or inspection on companies who are players in the sector. So this is just one of those we've come to do here at B Mountain in Grand Kitma.
So how, for example, how do you do that kind of inspection?
So thank you, Clarence. We have geologists and engineers, mining engineers, that is, at the Ministry of Mines and Energy. A sector regulator must be able to have sector-trained professionals in order to interact with the sector. Because obviously when you come to these mining companies, we're talking about a Class A, an industrial company. They will have high coal engineers and geotechnicians globally. So we are properly, equipped. Our engineers and geologists are here. They know about the machines from the total. Kinjo underground mine, we started working there on Saturday, and we intend to continue working in the underground mine in Kinjo today. Basically, we are inspecting, Clarence. The companies submit what we call mine plan, mine operation plan to the Ministry of Mines and Energy. Okay. So it is our fiduciary responsibility as the sector regulator or the sector lead to ensure that the plan you submitted to us in mining your mineral, that mine operation plan is followed to the latter. Nothing less, nothing more.
These kinds of, I would call it investigation, because inspection, it should be as a result of something. You know, what's the tip? What are you hearing? I mean, is it regular that you do it to all these construction areas, or what triggered that kind of inspection?
I think I would take the latter point from you. It's regular. We don't need to, the legal people say the court does not go looking for cases. But in our case, it's totally different. Once you are regulating the sector, mining is always associated with issues in terms of, because, they are excavating, sustainable exploitation of the environment and all of that. So you don't have to wait to hear any concern from, surrounding towns and villages, communities, or the workers. So in our regulation, the minerals and mining laws provide that every time the Mines and Energy Ministry should ensure these kinds of compliance. So we are basically implementing the mineral and mining laws as well as the mining regulations by ensuring health and safety, measures or conditions in the underground mines as well as the surface mines.
Now, Richard, do you take them by surprise? Do you notify them?
No, Clarence, no. Clarence, this is when we say Class A, it is an MD, a Mineral Development Agreement. These people are concessionaires. They are like, revenue generation or generating partner to the government. So they are not any small boys. This is not a Class C or artisanal small scale mining operation. These people, they have a document that was legislated by your legislature. So
in short, you get them. In short, they are aware of the coming of the ministry's team.
The ministry writes these companies and tell them that the team is coming and the team is coming to carry on our regular or our routine inspection of their work in terms of the environment in which they operate, the safety measures, the health and occupational and all of that.
Except that most of the time, a lot of Liberians think sometimes these things are just showmanship. They think nothing is going to come out of it. They think, for example, if the Ministry of Mines and Energies went over there and the company was doing worse than what I say it would do, a lot of people just think, well, what will happen? I mean, nothing is going to happen.
So, Clarence, I've never opted to be a pessimist. All right, so the optimist I am, I will tell you that the Ministry of Mines and Energy are serious administrators. Okay, he's spearheaded by Minister Wilmot P. So you're talking about Assistant Minister for Mineral Exploration, Honorable Oliver Duby, long-standing years of experience in the sector. You're talking about the Deputy Minister for Operation William Hang, who has everything in his life been around mining and the integrity thereof. So when we come to do these inspections, we don't come to fight the company. Okay?
It's not a fighting game anyway.
Like I told you earlier, mind you, remember they are revenue partners. Okay? Revenue partners to the government. So we come to ensure that because they have Liberians, I mean, they're putting out saying human beings. Because every time we say Liberian will sound some way different too. Because they have their own citizens, they're from Turkey. They have several aliens. In fact, I was interacting with guys from Zambia yesterday who sharing the same apartment. So once Liberians are on the mine, we come and see hazardous conditions. Obviously, the Ministry of Mines and Energy will have to call the company out. So I don't see what about it. It's just showmanship.
Okay.
No, I don't think so.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you so much. Wish you well. Let us know when you are back in town, probably the outcome of wherever there.
Thank you, Clarence.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Richard Molumba is the Director of Communication, Ministry of Mines and Energy. He was talking to us from somewhere in the B Mountain Control area where the ministry is trying to set the record straight. They are on an inspection there. I'm asking all these questions because even if I were to take my microphones in the streets to talk to ordinary people, that would be the general consensus of people. People think too many times. I always reference one huge legislative delegation that went over there a few years ago, and the way the lawmakers spoke, our people say, oh, when the men go moral umpa, things will be there. But by the time they left from there, it was another story. Now, let me call one of our legal analysts here, Councillor Richard Yoffie. I want to find out something particularly for him. But before I go there, all is now well too at the Liberia broadcasting system. If you've been following the issues in recent time, there are a lot of issues going on at LBS, and all I can say is that the board chair of LBS, I think the board is headed by the Minister of Information. I'm sorry, the Enfield board is not headed by the Minister of Health. I think it's one Dr. Kennedy. One Dr. Kennedy is the board chair for Enfield. The LBS board is headed by the Minister of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism, Jerry Lee McPia. I hope Pia then can make some intervention there. Things are getting bad at LBS. I don't like to do in depth, but from the surface, realistically, because when you see the workers union coming up to have a press conference and giving Director General Fagom an ultimatum, and then the next day Fagom called at his press conference in an attempt to make clarity, then you know that things are not okay. I'm told the deputy director generals over there, some of them cannot see eye to eye. Some of them and the director general cannot see. I'm sure the president sent all of them over there to do a job for the country. That place is getting tense. It is a prerogative and a responsibility of the board. I am told, and I know that the Committee on Information at the Senate, headed by Senator Dillon, they've been there before. I too have been there. I want to publicly say it. I too have personally been there in my effort to do some on the ground, negotiation and using some diplomatic skills to see as to whether we can work some of the things on the ground. Sometimes we don't say some of these things publicly, but it seems it's not working. So if the rightful people can go there to get it working, all of these people over there, they are our colleagues, they are friends, and all of them supposed to work together for the benefit of state radio so that the Liberian people, can follow the rate. But when they are forcing, I've always said these things. When you see the leaders fighting like that, it can undermine efficiency and progress. Why? Because the workforce will be divided. Certain persons will be for certain person, and then other persons are for another person. So at that point, it can be bad. When somebody come inside, they say, "You're sure the other man coming." The workforce, they will be going around to hear from each other and carry message to the other person to hear from the other. So it can undermine, the whole work to the place. Everybody want to listen for the other man. The other man want to listen for the other man. And, sometimes it's not correct. So Minister Pia and all of the people on our LBS board, you got to go over there, make strong representation there in an effort to settle the impasse over there. Other than that, it's dragging too much. Councillor Luther Yofi is on this line. Councillor Yofi, good morning.
Good morning, how you doing?
I'm good, Councillor Yofi. I'm calling you this morning because I want a little bit of public education on something. And it is about the Bill of Information that was filed before the Supreme Court by Battle Speaker Funanti Kofa. We're going a little over 1 month now. The court hasn't said anything about that, not that I know of. What does the law say about that? So if the court ain't talking anything, what does that mean?
Well, it could mean a number of things, but in this case, they probably the court might feel that they have given sufficient information that is clear enough that does not warrant a bit of information to understand the ruling given by the court. For example, the court came up with that ruling, and the Attorney General of the Republic of Liberia, the only one who is pro with the authority to even disagree with the president and still keep his job by virtue of the executive law that created the Ministry of Justice. That is to say, Section 22.2 of the executive law, paragraph C, gave the Attorney General the right to give an opinion to the president, to the ministers and other agencies of government relative to laws in the Republic of Liberia. The Attorney General interpreted the ruling of the Supreme Court to the executive. When that interpretation was done, in my mind, the Supreme Court did not disagree with the Attorney General, neither did they rebut the opinion on the interpretation of the ruling of the Supreme Court. That, in my mind, is to tell whoever is filing that bill of information that, look, we came up with this ruling. The Attorney General, who has a statutory responsibility to pass opinion, has given the opinion. We did not disagree with him. What other information do you want?
Okay.
So maybe the court is saying they're not going to waste their time to look into that bill of information because official information concerning the ruling is already out there.
Now, level you now. So it is the prerogative, or it was the prerogative, or it should have been the prerogative of the Supreme Court to respond to the Minister of Justice's interpretation of the ruling or not.
Well, the point I'm making is that...
No, what I'm trying to say, when the Justice Minister interpreted the Supreme Court's ruling, that the Supreme Court did not disagree, the Supreme Court did not say anything. I'm asking whether the Supreme Court reserved the right at that point to have spoken to that interpretation by the Minister of Justice.
Of course, if the minister had contradicted the interpretation of the ruling of the Supreme Court, definitely the court was spoken and said, no, the interpretation you have given is far from the ruling we have given. But it has much that the Supreme Court did not disagree with the Justice Minister, which means they agree with the opinion given by the Justice Minister.
So in this case, What's going to happen? The court is not talking to Kofa. The court is not saying anything about Kofa's bill of information. What does the law say about it now?
The Supreme Court is the only court in the Republic of Liberia that can interpret constitutional matters. If the court feels that that bill of information is only intended to waste of time, she has the right to pay no attention to it. And no one can compel the constitutional court to pass on a matter that she has already passed on. And if the court feels that sufficient information about the ruling is out there, but you just want an interpretation to favor you, no, the court is not going to give an interpretation to favor you. Once the court is sufficient that the ruling is clear, they are not going to bother about the bill of information.
But Fonanti went back because I think in his opinion, the ruling from the court was ambiguous, and people see, even you lawyers were divided on it. So he went for that, so that the Supreme Court has not spoken on the matter or made a determination. Is there an implication that, okay, what we said earlier, we stand by it, we're not talking again?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Because besides the ruling given by the Supreme Court, the interpretation of the Justice Minister is also clear.
No,
the court did not disagree with that interpretation.
But in the same vein, Representative Musa Belete and others have gone back, I think, to a lower court, I think, to notify the election of Rachel Kuhn. You know, what do you say to that?
I think that whole action is disingenuous. It is only intended to plunge this country into further misery. Because
these people think what was done was not legal, so they go to court.
Number one, the court, not even the Supreme Court, can compel the legislature to undo its constitutional function. There is a doctrine of separation of power between the three branches of government, and no other branch can interfere in the working of the other branch.
Okay, Councilor.
That the legislature keep up with a decision to change the speaker, honor their constitutional mandate. No court, not even the Supreme Court of the Republic of Liberia, can compel them to change their decision that they are authorized by the Constitution to perform.
Okay, Councilor.
If the Supreme Court could not do it, the lower court cannot do it.
Thank you. We'll leave you there. Councilor Luther Yorfi is a man we have decided to usually call here as our analyst since Councilor Lafayette Good left. Now, I'm not going to open the line until I have a counter. If there is any lawyer with a counter, you disagree with some of the things Councilor Yorfi has just said, I want you to call 0886 458 902. If there is any lawyer with a counter who disagrees with some of the things Councilor Luther Yorfi said, I want you to call 0886 458 902 and state publicly your disagreements. Probably he says something that you think, no. That is not an interpretation. That is not what the law says. I want a lawyer to call this number. Let's have a conversation. Our guy from Okada Moto is here. We'll take them very shortly. That's what I like. Let me get a counter. Okay, the phone. I want a lawyer. 0886 458 902. This is the OK Morning Rush. My name is Piso. I'm expecting a call from a lawyer. Let's disagree. I want somebody to put up a strong disagreement to this one here, and then maybe tomorrow I can give sufficient time and maybe call both of you on the telephone, and I want one lawyer. I want somebody. If there's something to disagree with, that's what I mean. If you think what he said is the law, well, it's okay. But if there's something to disagree with, the lawyer can call 0886 458 902. Is there any lawyer who disagrees with what Councilor Luther Yorfi has just said? He said probably the Supreme Court. Okay, let me take. I think Gerald Yekula is a counselor at law. Gerald, am I correct?
Good morning, Clarence. I'm an attorney at law.
Anthony Gerald Yekula. Gerald, go ahead. That you call means that you have a disagreement or you see it differently. Let's hear you.
Yes, thank you, Clarence. You asked a very important question to the Leonard Counselor, and that question you asked him was, where the judge's minister comes up and gives an opinion, would the Supreme Court, or could the Supreme Court have issued a statement to say, yes, we agree, or is a proper interpretation? He couldn't answer that question very squarely, right? The thing is, the court does not worry about issuing press releases. The court issues an opinion in a formal judgment, in a formal opinion. And if that opinion is subject to misunderstandings, as we've seen over the course of the period, and the judge's minister comes to provide an opinion, that opinion is not the one that is to give effect to the Supreme Court opinion. The court opinion itself is a very weighty legal document that should be as clear as possible. And that's the reason why we've been saying over time that the opinion of the Supreme Court has been very ambiguous. It needed much clarity. So for him to be tying the string of the Supreme Court opinion on the opinion of the justice minister, that alone is disingenuous, if you want to say.
Yeah, but Yekula, as a lawyer yourself, do you know whether it is a prerogative of the Supreme Court to have responded to the justice minister's interpretation? Had he interpreted in a manner that was not clear, that was that misconstrued what the court meant?
I mean, the only way the court could have done it would be in a subsequent opinion. And that is if there's a matter, for example, if we have done the bit of information before the court.
Okay.
And if in that bit of information, the court, the informants are saying, look, you issued an opinion before, and you tell people to go back and put into place rules for compelling attendance. You put into place that people acting ultra-virus, you say all of that, but now people are still continuing to act ultra-virus. It is in that kind of, and to say also that the Minister of Justice has issued an opinion up for misinterpreting and directing the executive to act against the opinion. That is the office of a bill of information. To say, look, you issued a judgment, and your judgment is not being complied with. It's not just to give any kind of information as Councilor Yofi is trying to.
So why is the court not saying anything about COFA's bill of information?
But that's the real question. The real question is that's the real question. That's why Councilor Yofi is not addressing. He's trying to tie with the issue of the judgment. The court, in my opinion, is only meant to be able to ensure why the court has the prerogative to decide which is a yeah or not a yeah. But in such a critical time, when the whole legislative branch and function of the republic is at stake. Now, I heard him say that, for example, the legislature is acting, and no court has an authority to be able to interfere. What is happening now is not a question of legislative function. It's an internal disagreement that is happening within the legislature. And so for the court to act to provide direction as to what is the constitutional requirements in terms of how the legislature operate, that cannot be considered as interference.
So as far as your reading and understanding is concerned as a lawyer, Yekula, do you think the Supreme Court also reserved the right not to speak to the Bill of Information?
The question of ensuring that your decisions are heard to.
Thank you. Anthony Alok, Gerald Yekula. My people, you who can pray, you gotta be praying for us. You know, we got issue again. The same issue that was last week has happened again. I don't know whether I will continue the show, but I will talk to my guests at least for probably 10-15 minutes. But you know, I'm getting indication again. We solve one problem and then it will spark up another side. We solve one problem, something else will come up. I am not sure we will continue the show. Let me be honest with you. I will attempt to take my first guess. We might not even end it, but I will take the risk. If my technician sends me another paper, then I will just shut it down. Every time we have some issues with a lot of technical issues here. Every time the guys solve one, another one will spark up again. That is the same with it. We can assure you that we are working on it. We want to solve this problem once and for all. But sometimes some of the things are just beyond our control. We don't intend to always disappoint you, our listeners, but sometimes we're faced with real difficulties. You know, when the man who got loan on TE more, when he laughing say sometimes you